In today's video, we've got a Bimini top. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but one of those canvas tops that goes over the top of a boat. So this is for the Seadoo Speedster Sportster. This one was called a Sportster, but it's called Speedster a few years after this one, but same boat. You can see here that it's got the factory mounts for a factory top, but I have an aftermarket top because I could not locate a OEM one. What I'm gonna try to do is, rather than drill new holes in the boats, if I can all make it manageable, I wanna see if I'm able to use the factory post. So what I'm hoping is, rather than drill a hole somewhere around here, which I think is where it lands, I wanna see if I can somehow go and get some hardware to mount up to this factory post, use this as my middle pivot point, and then maybe if I can cut the rod shorter, and instead of drilling a hole to mount that one here, maybe I can mount this cross section one into here and hopefully get it anchored in the factory one. So we'll see what happens. I'll link this top. I got it for a few $100. It's in the box. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut to assembling it. I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. I'll assemble it and then I'm gonna kind of hang it here and see how it lines up. And like I said, we'll see if my idea works. If not, we're gonna be drilling holes, but it is what it is. So we'll get to work. So assembly of the top took honestly like 5 minutes itself. There's no tools required. It just all clips together. So now it's ready to go. Honestly, like 5 minutes, you're ready to go. Now it's just a matter of anchoring it to the actual boat. Okay, so here's where I'm at with this, you guys. So I was able to actually throw it into this factory mount. The threads are different, so I'm gonna have to figure out what threads are on this plastic here on the factory original mount. This is the mount that it comes with. It comes with, you know, 4 of these to be able to mount it. But the problem I'm having is, no matter where you put it, if you look at the line, like if you try to put it up here, that bar is gonna be running like almost right in line with your throttle. Even if you try to, I've seen people try to sneak it right here, but in my opinion, that's just gonna be so close to interfering with your throttle. Like, I think it's gonna be annoying. It does operate and work the way it should off of this, and as you can see here, you can fold it back. The other thing too is, if I put it here, and if I wanted to put the top down, it's gonna be right in line with our throttle lever. Same thing with here. If I try to fold all this catastrophe right here, like if I have all this lined up here, like you're gonna be kind of getting into this throttle, in my opinion. It might be annoying. So based on this, you can lay the top back, and it seems to kind of work as the factory does here. So I think I'm gonna go on that. As far as height, obviously it's gonna be a little bit shorter based on here. So, you know, whatever that difference might be, 8 inches or so. But even when I try putting it up here, you still can't stand up in it. I'm about 5'9" or so, and I can't stand even when I put it up here. So it's not really gonna be any difference, but it's not like overly short or anything with it up here. So if I try to push it up, that's kind of the look we have. So seems pretty good. And I mean, if you're trying to hide from the sun anyways, I kind of feel like having it a little bit lower is gonna benefit more as far as sunshade, but it doesn't seem too low. Only thing is, these anchors here in the front, I'm probably gonna have to re-sew this or do something there to use this, because otherwise I would have to probably put a new anchor up there, but it's probably gonna be cleaner to just do something different up here and try to just re-sew this thing so that it hooks onto here instead. So, and then as far as back here, if I throw this here for a second just to hold it. So this bar, I'm hoping what I can do is drill out this rivet and then rotate this to meet here, cut this, drill out these 2 rivets, and then shorten this pole on this angle. So that's kind of what my plan is. I might have to slide this position down a little bit. I'm not too sure just there yet, but I think this is the way I'm gonna go, you guys. In my opinion, it's just a easier, cleaner install. Like I said, this way I have full, you know, accessibility to my levers here while I'm running with the top up. And then as you can see, when you put it down, it's obviously out of your way as well. So rather than putting this right here and being all into your controls, I think this would just be a better solution. So let me keep messing with it, and I'll update you guys as I go along here. So for now, what I did was I just wrapped this around twice. I put this to the shortest setting, and until I kind of reupholster this or find a shorter strap, just wrapping it around twice seems to do the job on these factory hooks. And now what I did was I just drilled out this one rivet right here. So this idea should work. As you can see, but we have to shorten this rod. So what I'm gonna do is, just so I don't make a mess all over the boat, I'm gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna drill these 2 rivets so that we can remove this. And then I'm gonna put that anchor into here, and then we'll try to get a idea for how long this rod needs to be. And then once we get an idea on the one side, then of course I can go over to the next side and just match it. So I think this is gonna be the best way to go for this, you guys. You know, to replicate the factory top. And I really think that they figured it out nice, the way that they have it here. Obviously, Seadoo probably put some effort into designing this, so I'm just trying to replicate the factory top without being able to buy a factory top. All right, so I've been making some progress with this. I'm just messing around with the final length, but it looks like where is the sweet spot is to make this aluminum rod from end to end, so don't incorporate the plastic part, but just the rod itself, the aluminum portion, 1 foot. So make it 1 foot, because you can, if you ever decide you want to make it longer, you can slide this down and put a new rivet in. But 1 foot seems to get this thing just about level and give it some nice tension on the back. And it works beautifully right to here, you guys. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to do this. So just take a drill bit, drill out the rivet. So they're aluminum rivets. Doesn't take much. The head comes off, and then just use a screwdriver or punch these 2 rivets out. So you're gonna take this. Again, doesn't take much force. There's 1. There's 2. And once you do that, then the insert comes out. And now we're gonna shorten this to be 1 foot long. And what I did was I just used a chop saw, and then I just cleaned up the end. So I'll show you guys that process. Okay, so here we are in the shop. So I've got my marks, and I've just got one of these metal saws. You could probably use something a little similar, or you know, something cut off wheel, whatever you want to use. But this just gives me a really clean cut, and then I'll show you how to clean up the ends. So there we go. We got our 2 pieces, both a foot on the aluminum portion. Now let's clean it up. So on the insides, I'm using one of these little deburring bits. Doesn't take much, just to get rid of that. And then on the outside, got this little sandpaper grit, and I'm just going around like this to get rid of all this. All right, so we're back at the boat and just about to drill our holes through here. One thing I will tell you is don't drill them perfectly straight. So there is a bit of a twist in it with this setup. So what I mean by that is this eyelet is not perfectly square with that one. There is a bit of a rotation. So just test fit it. I can't do it with one hand here, but essentially test fit it, make sure you got the rotation, and then we're gonna mark our 2 holes so we can drill in and put in our 2 aluminum rivets right here. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. This does not line up perfectly with the other end. As you can see there, it has a rotation in it. So this hole is 3/4 of an inch from the edge. And then once you get one drilled, you can drill right straight through to get your other one. So as long as you get one bang on, then the other one is good. These are 3/16" rivets, aluminum rivets, and then we're just gonna rivet that in place. All right, so I just ran to the store real quick. I ended up finding out that this is a 1/4-20, and I picked these up from Ace Hardware. You can see they're just these nice little knobs, so you can screw those in. So everything fits beautifully, nothing is rubbing. And then over here, this is how this came out, you guys. So what I'm gonna do now is, this pretty much holds, but if you wanna anchor it just so it doesn't slide, which is what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna drill a new hole right there now that everything is all lined up. So I might wait till I get the other side on just to drill this final hole, but pretty much 3/16 hole there, and then put those in. I did have to actually run to the store and get some short 3/16 rivets. These ones are long, but they were a little bit too long. So especially with here, because they both kind of meet up, but looking pretty good, you guys. I'm super happy with how this is gonna turn out. All right, you guys, couldn't be happier with the results. So ends up hooking up just like the factory unit. I didn't have to drill any new holes. Only other thing is I'm gonna have to like shorten this at some point, but if you want, you can just rock it like this. I just looped it around twice, adjusted it as necessary, and she's solid on here. So this thing is not going anywhere. Looks good. And let me show you guys the fact that you can fold it. It also does come with a bag, so I'll show you guys the bag over there, but it folds all the way back properly, you know, the way it should. And as you can see here, our controls are easily, you know, accessible. Our hands aren't going to be getting in the way of all this. So that was really what I was trying to go for, was just, you know, comfort and stuff like that. Even just the armrest, being able to fully use the armrest properly without having the bar in your way. So really happy with how it came out. And let me just fold it back, show you guys, you know, how it looks all folded. All right, guys, so I've got the cover over top of it. I probably could put it on a little bit better, but I just threw it over top just to show you guys that it does work. And you can flip it forward. Everything, as you can see, tucks up. I don't know if you maybe want to put something up against here, just if you're worried about it rubbing. So if you need to flip it forward to get to the hatch, you can. And then it does flip all the way back. So there you go, and it rests all the way back, just like it should, and good to go. So even the bar that we ended up modifying, you can see here, it still clears as well. So this is probably the cheapest way that you can, you know, replace the factory one. If for some reason you have the same, you know, issue as me where it just came with the factory mounts but not the actual factory cover, then you can go ahead and install this, make the modifications, or this is supposed to be able to mount up to here, and I guess you could mount it here somewhere, but I just didn't want to compromise the controls. So super happy with how it came out. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give a thumbs up for me, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be doing a bunch of little mods and maintenance and all kinds of stuff. If you guys haven't seen this boat, we did a bunch of stuff. We did all the upholstery, so I already replaced all the upholstery. So if you guys are interested in that, check out that video. And this thing was just really, really dirty. We polished the whole boat. I'm going to be doing a wear ring. I'm going to be upgrading the stereo. I still got to figure out and take apart the gauges because they are stuck. This one's stuck on 10 mile an hour and that one's stuck on 500. So I've read up on those, on how to potentially fix those. So I'm going to check that out and make that video for you guys. So lots of stuff on the way. Stick around and we'll see you guys on the next one.